I just realized I've been wearing these shorts for the last 4 or 5 episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I only have one pair of comfy shorts, so. Hello.
He sniffed right as you
Oh, good. That's okay. Well, they won't hear it. How are you? Welcome back to another episode of Sometimes Ciabatta Slaps.
I'm Mac.
I'm Jubes.
And today's episode is all about the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard it before. We're continuing it again.
Yeah, literally. What episode did we talk about it most in?
Good Vibes, Good Life, the book club.
Okay. Yeah, because he talked about the law of vibration and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one too, but I can't.
We talked about it briefly with Alexa in the tarot one. Mm-hmm. Which we bring up again in here. There was another one, but maybe that was just personal conversation.
Yeah, I can't picture what one it is.
Yeah, I've got no idea. The mind is blank.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But either way, do that. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see I'm a redhead now.
Yes, Mac dyed her hair red.
I did.
It looks so good.
A nice auburn. I feel the comment I've gotten the most is it looks like my natural hair color.
It really does, yeah.
Which
it suits you very much, so.
Yeah. Not a mousy brown, actually makes sense of my freckles and pasty skin.
It's very Anna Green Gables.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Now I'm no doubt am I Scottish now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not Scottish face with this mousy Finnish hair.
You're a Stuart.
Yeah.
Stuart.
But
I can't do a Scottish accent.
What's new with you, Jubes?
It was my mom's birthday, and so when this episode comes out, it'll be my mom's birthday, and we're gonna go on a super fun hike, and it'll be a blast. I feel like it's just me and her and my dad.
So fun.
Because my sister can't get the day off work. She's works so much, and there's never anything for her to do at work. But the one day she wants to take off, everyone else is gone.
Oh no!
So she can't actually get it off. She was so mad about it.
Oh no!
I was nice. That's super fun for you.
That's hard.
But yeah, I don't know. Not too much other than that, really. Mm-hmm. I feel like we've recorded a lot in the last little bit, so I don't know what's new.
My brain has been too many tabs open all the time.
Yeah.
So everything is just blacked out right now to me. Yeah,
that's fair.
It's every event that could possibly be happening is happening right now.
Yeah.
And I'm why?
Great.
I was bored in February. Why couldn't this be back then?
Yeah. No, because that would not have been good, because then we both would have been stressed.
Yeah, but just a little bit of this now and do it then,
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just no, after I left LA, it's everything back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
And I have a day to catch up on rest.
Yeah.
But then I get guilt.
Yeah.
Because I know the next round of shit's coming and I could use a rest day to work on stuff.
Yeah.
After the cabin I spent 2 days there alone afterwards.
Yeah.
And I could have been way more productive than I was. I slept for 2 days.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you needed to.
I was wiped.
Yeah.
And so.
No, that's fair.
We're back to it.
Mm-hmm. Back to the grind, baby. Gotta get in that grind set.
I hate it.
Hustle.
I hate it.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely not. I need more. I need a soft life. I'm tired.
Yeah. All done. All done with this game.
For law of attraction, if I could just be a money magnet and just not have to think too hard all the time, that would be much preferred right now.
Put money out there and it'll return to you or whatever.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get in.
Yeah, I don't so today we're going to talk about the law of attraction. Mm-hmm. We've already introduced this. I don't know why I'm reintroducing it. But basically the law of attraction is a philosophy that suggests that positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life and negative thoughts bring negative results into a person's life. So whatever you put out in the universe is going to come back to you. It's kind of based on the idea that thoughts are a form of energy and that positive energy attracts success in all areas of life.
Mm-hmm.
So continuing on our good vibes, good life kind of spiel.
Yeah.
And so just kind of like by focusing on your dreams rather than your frustrations, you can change the frequency of your energy. And then the law of attraction will then bring positive things into your life. It's going to sound really weird to talk about like thoughts as in the form of like energy and like vibration and stuff, but it actually is a thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like everything is energy. All of your cells are energy, and everything has that energy potential.
Well, even I thought I had a quote in here that even like Einstein is like the entire life is just vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole universe is just vibration. So like how is it any different that like your thoughts and your words, like speaking is literally just vibration. Like everything is. So why wouldn't...
Yeah, your vocal cords are.
Yeah. But yeah, so like also the rules of threes that Alexa touched on in our tarot episode, in relation to the law of attraction is just that whatever you put out into the universe, you get back threefold. So like 3 times as much kind of. And so yeah, if you put a good act out, then you'll get 3 times the good energy or 3 good acts back. If you put out bad energy or bad acts, then you're going to get 3 times like the bad energy.
Yeah. And that's where the whole phrase of like everything bad that happens in threes kind of comes from.
Yeah, and it's important to clarify that like if something bad happens to you, it's not necessarily like a result of this thing. Like if someone in your life dies, it's not because you stole a piece of gum when you were 6. Like that's not how this works. No, it's not like that.
It's all within a similar level vibration.
Yeah, exactly. And so the rules of threes actually, because I was doing some research into it just to make sure that we got the most factual information. So naturally I went to Wikipedia. But
did you learn nothing about citations?
Nope, went in one ear out the other. Just felt like the most compound information.
Yeah.
So it said that the rules of 3 is like a religious belief that's held by Wiccans, neo-pagans, and occultists. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. I've heard it differently, but that's how I'm going to say it.
Occultists?
Occultists,
yeah. You talk about the occult.
Yeah, so I just really emphasize the O. And so it has been, the rules of 3 is also referred to as karma. But not everyone in those 3, like, religions thinks that karma is the same as the rule of 3. But, like, for simplicity's sake, they're the same. But yeah, I didn't know that it was an actual, like, religious belief. I thought it was just kind of, like... I don't know, I don't often think that laws and, like, you know? Like, I wouldn't think of, like, the law of attraction being, like, a religious belief. But, yeah.
Yeah, but karma is, and
yeah,
that is a... So, yeah, I haven't heard of it as, like, law of attraction word for word as a religious belief, but I've heard it in, like, other...
Yeah.
Versions, I guess. Like, even... Wasn't even there something about, like, the 10 Commandments? If you break the 10 Commandments, something bad happens to you?
I have no idea.
It's been so long since I did...
I don't know. Let's Google this.
I was 6 when I did Bible study last. But I think even in, like, Christianity, there was, like, other than hell, there was, like, a religious thing that if you do something bad or break something bad.
Well, there's, like, the whole, like... If your eye causes you to lust, you should pluck that eye out. If your hand causes you to sin, you should cut your hand out.
Okay, that's a little bit too extreme.
So, but maybe karma, right? Like you're, I don't know.
I thought there was something along the lines too of like karma, attraction, said someone who's like not highly religious whatsoever. Like, isn't there this too?
No, I don't think. Matthew 5:19, Wikipedia. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men, so he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. So basically, you just get shamed in heaven if you break a commandment.
Okay.
But if you don't break a commandment, then you get praised in heaven.
Yeah.
Correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah. No idea.
Yeah.
But even, like, I mean, outside of religion, science too, right? The Newton's law, we've talked about that during Good Vibes, Good Life, is literally what karma is, right?
Yeah.
To every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yes, science and religion go together. Like, oil and vinegar.
More than they like to admit, though, too.
It's like oil and vinegar. They'll never mesh, but they taste great together. That's a stretch, but I like it.
I mean,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's a kernel of truth.
Yeah. And so principles that make up the law of attraction, like attracts like. Similar things are attracted to each other. For example, people attract people who are similar to them. That's what we talked about that too in a different episode, but like with friendships. Was it Good Vibes, Good Life as well? I don't know. That was the most recent one.
Yeah, I don't think it was Good Vibes. Oh, no, we did talk about how, like, you need to surround yourself with people who share similar goals as you.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's, like, a conscious thought versus, like subconsciously attracting people who are like you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for the most, like, immediate response, like, once I started working out, I have more gym friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Than non-gym friends, right?
But even, like, when we first started hanging out, right? Like, we were like, oh, like, yeah, we work together. And then we started realizing, like, how similar we are, like, the similarities and, like, how we grew up and stuff. So I think that would be, like, a like attracts like. Like, that's why we were drawn to one another. Yeah. Is because we had similarities in, like, the way we were raised.
A lot of similar thought patterns and a lot of similar upbringing. Yeah. Kind of style, yeah.
So that's what I thought of when I read that.
Yeah. Nature abhors a vacuum. So this suggests that by removing negative things from your life, you are leaving room for positive things to take place, which I've been going through a lot recently. Yeah. Blocked a lot of parasites in my life.
Good. We talked about this one too. In the one that we are both thinking of but can't remember the name of, we talked about in this one. Okay. But yeah, anyway, we have talked about this one as well.
Yeah, irrelevant, I guess. Look back or don't. Right. And then so the present is always perfect. So this principle focuses on the idea that there are always things you can do to improve the present, but instead of thinking about them with dread, you should focus on making the present moment the best it can be. Yeah. So that's very much living in the moment, and that's where like meditation and practices like that, like grounding practices often are encouraged for someone who has a lot of anxiety because it takes them out of their head and into the current moment.
Exactly. And from the little bit that I've read from our book for this month, it very much talks about how, like, there is no future, there is no past, there's only today. Yeah. So, like, live in today. And if you want to make changes, make them today. Yeah. Like, you only have control over what you do in the present. Yeah. Yeah. Exactement. Which is kind of interesting. And so, like, the law of attraction isn't a new term. Mm-mm. And it actually has philosophical roots dating back to the early 19th century, where it was referred to as New Thought. Mm-hmm. I would like them to use that in a sentence because I don't fully understand. But there was a resurgence of interest in the law of attraction during the 20th century, especially when the film The Secret was released in 2006, and then its sequel The Power was released in 2010.
I haven't heard of either of those movies.
Me neither. But like they were like, in this article that I read, they were like, oh yeah, in The Secret it was this, in The Secret it was this, because it was a movie that was then turned into a book. And I was like, I don't know how that works, so I think they just messed up that sentence, or I messed up that sentence. But yeah, I don't even know what it was about at all. But apparently it was huge in the law of attraction.
To be fair, I was 8 and 12, so...
Yeah. Well, I guess... yeah, I was 6 and 10.
No.
Yeah.
If I was 8 and 12, you're only a year younger than me.
Yeah, but in 2006, I would have been turning 7 for 2007.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always the same age as the year. Yeah.
You're so late.
Yeah. Oh. The summary of The Secret is a feature-length movie presentation which reveals the great secret of the universe. It has been passed throughout the ages, traveling through centuries. This is the secret to everything. The secret to unlimited joy, health, money, relationships, love, youth, everything you've ever wanted, all the resources you will ever need to understand and live the secret. The world's leading scientists, authors, and philosophers will reveal the secret that utterly transformed the lives of every person who ever knew it. Plato, Newton, Carnegie, Beethoven, Shakespeare, Einstein.
So it's very philosophical and elitist.
It feels like a documentary.
Interesting.
But apparently it's a movie. Interviews with self-proclaimed authors, philosophers, and scientists with an in-depth discussion of visualizing your goals. Oh. Sounds terrible. Anyway.
It sounds like it could be interesting, but also it's like would be walking the line of preachy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very thin.
Yeah. That is a very thin line.
Okay.
So yeah. How many more times can I say in this episode? So like we brought up in Good Vibes, Good Life, law of attraction and the law of vibration are also very much interconnected. And so basically the law of vibration takes the law of attraction just one step further. And so it states that everything in the universe is in a constant state of vibration, and those vibrations determine the experiences you have in your life. And so you're matching your vibrations with the vibration of the thing that you want to have. And
so like as we've had it before, like healthy foods vibrate at a higher level than unhealthy foods. And so if you want to feel good, that's where eating healthy foods or the whole spiritual side of eating healthy foods points towards is the and that same goes with like positive thoughts. So positive thoughts and feelings emit high frequency vibrations, while negative thoughts and feelings emit low frequency vibrations. And this has actually been shown in is it ECG brain scans?
ECG is heart.
Okay, I know. It's what's the brain?
MRI, CAT, CT, PET.
Maybe PET. EEG?
Oh, yep. EEG is electroencephalography.
Yeah. And that's where, so EEG. That's it. Not EEG.
Encephalogram. Oops, sorry.
So in EEG scans that have been studied, there you can actually see it on the chart of someone who's depressed versus someone who's, I guess, normal or happy. Yeah. And the lines are lower on the person who is depressed.
That's really cool.
Because their brain isn't functioning at the same, I was going to say velocity. Like, that sounds so intense. Like,
at the same vibration,
Like, there's not as many connections and synapses happening in someone who is depressed. Right. Which then, if you do it long term, then contributes to, like, atrophy of certain cells because they're not getting activated or stimulated.
Oh, interesting.
And your brain is actively trying to cleanse itself out of unnecessary thoughts and learned stuff. So that's why I said learned stuff instead of a normal human word, because
knowledge,
my recall is wearing really thin. Since starting the podcast, my psychology recall has really been put to work.
Yeah, it really has, especially because I just ask you questions out of the blue. Yeah
And it's like really testing. I'm like, oh, I know this. Yeah. But I haven't had to like speak about it.
Well, yeah, it's almost like, because even when you asked me like the one anthropology question of like, whatever it was, see, my recall is just as bad.
Neanderthals
and Homo sapiens and all that jazz. Yeah. I was like, I know it, but I need to like see an image in order to like spark the rest of my thoughts. Like I need something to like trigger it. And so otherwise I'm gonna like not. Yeah.
I've been very aware of like that I jump in when you're not finished a thought and then we end up talking over each other.
We do that to each other a lot.
I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I don't care. Because I do it to you too all the time.
I know. You just stop that. But no, one thing that like when it comes to recall and active recall, like that's the issue with memories, and that's why when you talk forensic psychology, a lot of because here's a side tangent number one.
Yep. The whole eyewitness testimony is absolute bull crap.
It's because your memory formation isn't.
It changes.
Solidified. Yeah. Every time you recall it has to get pulled out of the box, ran up to the front office, and then during that trip, someone could have lost something, could have flying out, and someone could have lost something. It could have been put down on this desk somewhere. And so you have all these like different factors that then get grouped in with this memory and put back in the filing system.
Well, and even like going off on the side tangent because I actually know about it. Wow. Brain gone. When you look at like mugshots, like when you're trying to do like a police lineup to see who like committed the crime, there's ways you have to do that so that you're not just like changing the face of the person you see, because that happens so often. Is if they're given a lineup, like when you do like the one by one, you're just comparing it to the one before, but when you look at them all in a row, then you're comparing them all to each other, like, oh, this person looks the most like what I saw. Are they actually the person? I don't know. But then when you leave and come back, you replay that memory over and over until the person in your mind who committed the crime is the person that you saw in the lineup, whether or not they actually committed the crime.
Yeah.
It's bonkers.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of micro cues that are issues, especially with like dirty cops and stuff too, that they'll give micro hints, or if like in an interview prior to whatnot, they're like, do you know this man? And then they'll put the same man in the lineup because they want to charge that man even though he might be innocent.
Exactly. And they're like, oh, well, he looks familiar, but it's not because you saw him commit the crime. It's because he was shown to you a week prior or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So crazy.
The brain's actively trying to remove it. And so that's where, and you can see that in, this comes back to the EEG, where you can actually see how much the brain is functioning versus not.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so kind of along those lines, like we're basically just like a radio. Like we're constantly broadcasting signals and vibrations via like our thoughts and our feelings, and the universe is constantly responding by bringing experiences and circumstances into our lives that match those frequencies. So if you want something good to happen, try and live in like a high vibration mood, I guess is the best way to put that.
Yeah.
And here's my my holy cow.
Usually it's me, today it's you.
I'm just my tongue is too big for my mouth. Albert Einstein even said everything in life is vibration because the universe is made up of vibrating particles that are constantly moving and creating energy. So how are our thoughts any different?
Yes.
So
what's the opposite of law of attraction? So what isn't exactly the opposite, but it's something that happens. Like often people who believe the law of attraction then put blame on themselves when things outside of their control happen, like accidents, injuries, layoffs, major illnesses. With these situations, we're not able to control what happens, but we can control how we react to them, and that's where the law of attraction comes into play.
Yeah.
And so that can be seen with like, I was just having a conversation with someone the other night, last night actually, about this, where it's like you can come from a really shitty circumstance, but it's how you react to it that really builds your character and determines how you're going to be in the world. For example, someone with a drug addict parent, right?
Yeah.
Either they're also going to become an addict or they're going to become an addictions counselor.
Yeah, well, that's even like Vex King, right? Like he grew up in a really shitty situation.
Yeah.
But the life he was able to make from that is incredible.
Yeah. And so it's really, you are the driver in the driver's seat of your own life. And again, this is where my tangent of like, you can think that the world's happening to you and not for you. But the reality is if you're constantly living in this like cycle of everything sucks, it doesn't work out for me, nothing's good about life, what's the point? Then you're gonna manifest that. Like I hate to be like that cheesy hippie chick, but
all you're going to see is that if that is all that you're thinking of. Like if everything's woe is me, I'm so woe.
See, dressed out from my head to my toe.
I cannot say that without thinking of that.
With Webster.
But you know what I mean? Like if that's all you focus on, that's all you're gonna see. That's like when you're going to buy a new car and you like notice this new car model, and then that car model is all you see everywhere. It's the same kind of thing where you just start to notice only shitty things if that's all you're focused on. But when you start to focus on like practicing gratitude and being thankful for things and looking at things with like an open mind and an open heart, then you're gonna see more happy things.
And you become a product of the people you hang around the most, right? So if the people you hang around the most are leeches, then it's gonna suck.
It gets exhausting.
Like, pun intended, it's gonna suck.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
And that it gets so, I think that whole concept is so overplayed and overused. But I feel like it has to be because no one actually listens to it. Yeah. Like even me, I preach it. But there are some days when things suck. Yeah. Man, it's hard to find a silver lining. Yeah. And it's not like, toxic positivity, you always need to find the silver lining. Like sometimes it is
okay to be like, woe is me, I'm so woe.
Yeah.
But you need to not let it, like, drag you down and take longer than necessary, right? Like, you can't just get stuck in that loop of
negative feedback loop.
Yeah.
And so that's where the whole, I mean, on TikTok, as this is our main source of social...
Wikipedia and TikTok, that's where we get our information.
Well, TikTok is where the whole society and culture comes out for us, because that's, you see a lot of that, those kind of principles on there and topics. But lucky girl syndrome has been a huge thing.
It has been huge
on TikTok, and it's just essentially just affirmations.
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
Yeah.
But people have taken that and turned it into like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because they've found that when they focus on the positive, good things happen.
Yeah.
Because that's all you're looking at. It's like having blinders on.
Yeah.
You can either have blinders on for negative, or you can have blinders on for positive.
Yeah, exactly.
So
okay, so how do you practice or follow the law of attraction? For those rule followers out there like me.
Here's the guidebook.
Yeah, literally.
The recipe. You need 2 cups of gratitude.
2 cups of gratitude. A 1/4 teaspoon of visualizing your goals. A 1/3 of a cup to look for the positives in a situation.
Yeah.
So basically, you create your own reality. So focus on what it is that you want in your life and try and make yourself that same vibration. So what you can do to do that is practice gratitude, visualize your goals. If you have a Fantasia, like myself and Mac Daddy, we just created a vision board. Matt created a beautiful little template, and so I put in the pictures that I wanted and like whatever was important to me, and then I set it as this laptop's background and my computer background to kind of just keep what I want at the forefront of my mind so I can continue like working towards them.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to like visualize them in my brain.
Yeah.
Look for positives in a situation. That one feels very toxic positivity-y, but again, like, do what you can with that.
But this goes back to the whole, like, where you read in the book and what I read in the book. It's like, if you're feeling guilty or not guilty,
ungrateful,
self-deprecating, just know that, like, yeah, sometimes it does help to think, like, someone has it worse, right? And that's not meant to be, not meant to diminish your own feelings, but it's meant to look like it could be worse. Like, if I was in this person's shoes, I know they're going through a lot. That sucks. Like, then you come from a place of, like, empathy rather than, like, greed. Yeah.
It can also just kind of, like, snap you out of it.
Yeah.
You can just be like, oh, well, I actually have this, this, and this. So, okay, my life isn't actually as bad as I thought, even though this is happening to me right now. I can still be sad about that, but, like, it's not the end of the world, right?
Yeah, and that's where the whole but statements, I guess, come into, right? Where this sucks, but at least it's not this.
Yes.
Or this sucks, but at least I don't have a brain tumor.
Yeah. This sucks, but tomorrow I'm going to a spa, so that'll be fun for tomorrow. Or this sucks, but I can't add anything more to that.
So it makes it not feel so doom and gloom, at least for me. It does.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it just takes you out of your own head and puts you in someone else's shoes, which I think empathy for me makes me feel a lot
happier. It just like renews your perspective a bit. Learn how to identify negative thinking. Again, this is kind of the same thing. Use positive affirmations. Reframe negative events in a more positive way. The whole but statements. The law of attraction isn't an immediate solution for all of life's challenges, but it can help you create just like a more optimistic mindset and outlook on life that will help you stay motivated. So again, it's another mindset thing where like it's not going to solve all your problems. You're still going to have issues, but it can help you navigate them and get through them a little bit easier. And then there's just some other things that you can do to implement the law of attraction in your life, which are like journaling. This one helps you kind of just like verbalize your thought patterns, I guess, so you can kind of understand how, like if you tend to be a more pessimistic thinker or an optimistic thinker. So it kind of just, it's like setting the foundation. You're like, okay, this is where I'm starting from. What do I need to kind of change or fix or whatever?
And so Journey and I are doing like a self-test on gratitude journaling specifically. So we just picked up a couple gratitude journals, and so we're gonna start them, and then we'll let you guys know what we think of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm excited.
We'll just see how it if it does anything for us, or how it changes us, or if it just, I don't know, takes us out of our head for 5 minutes.
Yeah, even just the act of like creating the habit to gratitude journal every day, and just like, yeah, I think it would be very, very interesting to see.
Because we both talked about how we don't have like affirmations, right? Because again, shouting affirmations in the mirror doesn't really. It
gives me secondhand embarrassment for myself.
It doesn't do much for me. It's not helpful for me, and so I wonder if this is going to do a similar thing. Yeah, even just like forcing yourself to kind of, that's not the best way to phrase that, but like forcing yourself to think about, what am I grateful for? Yeah. What do I have? Yeah. Okay, so the second thing you can kind of do is make a mood board. Like we said, creates a visual reminder to help you maintain a positive mindset and stay focused on your goals. Again, we did that with the vision board. Practice acceptance. So instead of focusing on what is wrong about the present or what needs to be changed, work on accepting things as they are. So I listened to a podcast probably a year and a half to 2 years ago, and they just kind of talked about like the mindset shift of, instead of saying, oh, I can't wait for, saying like, oh, I'm excited for, I look forward to the day, so that you're not living in the future, but you're still like saying, oh yeah, I'm excited for this to happen, but like I'm also okay to be where I'm at right now, kind of thing. So that's how I've been kind of, I don't know if that counts as practicing acceptance, but I think it brings you back to like practicing gratitude and just being in the moment. So
yeah, it's like, okay, this is where my life is at right now, like that's great, yeah, there's things I'd like to change, blah blah whatever, but a lot of that can't happen until they're out of my control, like whatever. So it's like, this is just where I'm going to be for right now.
Yeah.
And then lastly, practice positive self-talk. This one is extremely important, especially if you are overly self-critical. And so it's important to set a goal to engage in positive self-talk each day, and it gets easier with time. And so this is kind of also just like affirmations, like just saying like, oh, you are strong, you are kind, you're beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So fun.
So in terms of relationships, you can use this to work towards like relationship goals. So one way to do this is to be more aware of the things that are holding you back from allowing love into your life. This again comes on the dating scene where it's like everyone's shit, and it's like, well, are you just attracting shit?
Yeah, it's like, oh my goodness, you don't have any friends, everyone's friends are so dramatic, but like, are you the problem?
Yeah.
That's the,
like, how many times is it until you're like, you have to be faced with your own shit? And like, again, personal story. As you guys saw, and since the podcast started, I've spent so much time being like, why can't I ever get in a relationship? Like, it was always something that I would just hyper focus on, to the point where I'm like, why? Like, what's wrong with me? Yeah. And started self-doubt, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Just an attachment style issue, actually.
Yeah, turns out.
Yeah. Turns out, avoidant attachment, that would do it for me.
Yeah, that does it.
And so, but since learning that, it threw me at the time. Yeah. So I guess that was almost 5 months ago now. Was that January? Yeah, it was January, right?
Yeah.
And so in those 5 months, I've seen significant change.
Yeah.
And like things that I would allow people to get away with. Those people are now removed from my life. Yeah. Because I'm like, there's no need for that. I'm exhausted. Like, yeah. I essentially just remembered who I am. Yeah. And it's made a world of difference so far.
Well, that's like just naming how you're feeling, right? Like there was this big issue that you didn't understand. Like, okay, why is this happening? And then someone gave it a name and you're like, oh my gosh, wait, I can think about this. I can actually like understand and move towards it and work through it.
Well, it's because like, I know what that is. Yeah. Like, avoidant attachment, check. I've got it. I learned about this. Like, I know what it is, even though I didn't think I would have it. But I don't know. But
yeah, now that you know, you can like kind of adapt your life to make it easier. I don't like, you know, like work around it, like instead of working against it.
Exactly. So that's, and even with that, like I always thought of it in the terms of like childhood attachment. And I do not, like, to my core, I do not think that came from my parents. I think that just came from experiences with friends and previous, I don't know, relationships, quote unquote, like junior high, talking phases. And that like every time I was like stung by someone in my life, I'd add a brick.
Yeah.
To the point where I just had this wall that was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You cannot come in.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to keep you at a distance for as a form of protection. Mm-hmm. But it's like, since finding that out, I've reshifted my mind to being like, it's not an attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And me being vulnerable isn't being weak.
Yeah. That's huge. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Round of applause for Michaela.
Yay. Which sounds so pathetic to be like, come to that realization.
But it's important, right?
But if it's something you've internalized without realizing it.
Yeah.
Man. Mm-hmm. Game changer. It's just so much lighter.
Yeah. Like it takes a whole weight off your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not on edge anymore. Like I used to be so like short fused. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't care anymore. Yeah. Because again, it's like I just remembered who I am. Yeah. And so. Yeah. And I know I'm cool. Yeah. So I'm like, anyone who doesn't see that, I'm like, okay, that's fine. You're not meant for me. Yeah.
Then get out.
Move along.
Yeah. I'm not going to waste my time on you if you're not going to give me the basic decency of respect. Like.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a whole, like, if I'm too much, go find less.
Literally.
Been living by that.
Oh my gosh. We love it. Yeah. So, and then we also have like the law of attraction in work. Mm-hmm. I find this one just funny. So the law of attraction can also be useful for achieving your professional goals. And so some people think that by simply thinking positively about their career aspirations, it will just manifest positive changes, but they're actually like, you need to make changes in order to get changes. Yeah. And so like, for example, simply like wanting higher pay isn't enough. So you need to take action such as like acquiring skills, seeking promotions, pursuing a new position, increasing your education, all of that in order to get that higher pay. I don't understand how that's not the law of attraction, or how that is the law of attraction, because yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me how like
with work, I would take it less so of like what you're doing and more so how you're feeling if for the law of attraction.
Yeah, but to me that was like at the top where I have like, that's what people like mistakenly think of. Because it's like, yeah, like if I apply for a promotion, but I have all the skills that like make me like eligible for that promotion, and then I get that promotion, is that a law of attraction, or is that just I applied for it and I was qualified for it, so I got it?
Well, yes, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. But if you're, say, low level and you want to be CEO, you're putting in that work to become CEO because you're like, I'm going to be a CEO one day. Right. Right. And so you're taking the steps. And I think that's where the law of attraction comes from in that premise. Yeah. But if you want to use law of attraction for work, I would more so focus on how you're feeling rather than what you're doing, because the job title could change or be very different than what you think it's going to be. Yeah. But you can be like, I feel financial freedom. Yeah. I am satisfied with my work. I'm excited to go to work every day. I am eager to interact with my colleagues. Yeah. Like all those types of things. And your job title that you had in mind might switch. Yeah. But the feeling and the overall like energy around how you want work to be, that is what I feel like you're attracting more so, rather than like applying for a job that you know you're gonna get. Yeah, that's how it was written. It was like, apply for a job you know you're gonna get, and then you're gonna get it, and then that's the law of attraction. And I was like, I don't understand. I put in a lot more work than I thought I would have had to for this law of attraction. And I think that's maybe where I'm getting hung up, is like, I'm like, oh, look, if I just change my vibration and start thinking better thoughts, it'll be great. But if I actually have to like practice those thoughts and like do the work to get the good things, yeah. And so, my leg is so numb. When I think of this example though with you, where you were qualified for the one job that you applied for, and you didn't get, like, again, we go through everything happens for a reason, so there's a reason why this wasn't the right timing, even though you were technically, I was manifesting it and putting out all the vibrations and doing all the things. But that means, like, doesn't mean you can never have it. It just means not right now. Not right now, there's clearly something that you need to work on, build on, and or there's a different route to get there. Maybe that's putting I don't know, meaning to rejection. But
yeah, but I was just like, especially with that, there was no like other door that was open. It was just like I was walking really quickly down the hall and I was like, oh, that's the door I want. And then it was like, no, keep going. Yeah. But I'm like, why? Yeah. Why not? Why was that shown to me and then just taken away?
Because I think it was to get your perception on how you really do feel about that certain career path. Yeah. But you're not living your life like towards that certain career path right now. Yeah. It was just something almost from your past that's like a reminder of like,
yeah, this is what you want.
This is what you used to be interested in. Are you still interested in it? Yes or no?
Yeah. And so with that, it's like, yeah, I'm not living my life totally towards that because I've only been shown no matter how much work you do towards that career, you will not get it. Yeah. So then do I need to completely change everything? Was there give it up completely?
Because I wouldn't say give it up completely, but I'd say give up the being so type A about what that is going to look like.
But I've changed what it's going to look like. I've had to. Mm-hmm. And so then I was like, okay, this is going to be, that will be awesome. Yeah. And nothing. Yeah. And so I'm not trying to be like, oh, boohoo me. I'm literally just trying to like, yeah, this is my thought process.
I think you're going to get it because it's been a soul passion for so long time. Yeah. But I think it's going to come later and not as expected. Yeah. I mean, as it's being shown that it's going to come later. Yeah. But I think it's going to come in a different format that you least expect. Yeah. And I think it's still waiting for you to like open your eyes to that. Yeah. Like even the opportunity that you had most recently is something you never thought of before. Yeah. But still works within the same topic. Yeah. And so maybe that opportunity is to be like, oh, is that more so what I want to do rather than the in-office job?
Yeah, just make your own.
Because you want like flexibility of schedule and stuff. And you wouldn't get that with the office job. Yeah. And so to already have a time limit, so to speak, if you started this office job. Yeah. Because you would leave it once you start having a family.
Okay. But that's the thing. Yeah. I don't know when I'm going to start having a family. So why should I keep putting off what my career is going to be, what my job, what my passions are? Yeah. For the potential of, oh, I might have kids before I'm 30.
Yeah. No, I got that.
And yeah, I'm not trying to argue or what. Yeah. These are just things that I'm like, okay, but why can I not have kids right now? And why can I not have the career that I want right now? So what am I supposed to do right now?
And that could all be coming up quicker than you even expect. Just because you can't see it now. Yeah. It's like a foggy day. Yeah. It could be coming frustrating. It could be 1 kilometer and it's right there.
Sorry, Mia.
And so that's where the whole law of attraction, law of vibration, like... Yeah. Because you're not on the vibration of, I'm going to have this desk job and my career is me. Yeah. Your career is not you. It's never been your sole focus. Your family is you. Mm-hmm. And so you're vibrating with, I'm having a family. Yeah. Right? And so even though it's not this current moment, yeah, you still are raising a team of boys.
Yeah, I've got 10 children.
Yeah. And so you have been vibrating on this family level, not this office career level, which that job would have demanded. Yeah. Whereas the other opportunity that just came up offers you more freedom. Yeah. Where you can work within your field and get income within your field. Yeah. In a different way than you thought going into university. Yeah. That's just where I'm thinking is like
I know. I'm like I feel so like split. Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, I want this, but I also want this, but it's like neither of them are happening right now. So like, do I just need to like pick one to focus on it?
Well, and some would argue that there are some theorists with that, but it's, I think at your core, like, you know what you want. And that's where I think just like visualizing, writing down on paper what you want the next 5 years to look like has way more power than I want to give it credit for.
That's how we got this podcast.
I hate it. Goal setting when I was in figure skating, but our coaches demanded that we do goal setting. Yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, like an axle would be cool to get. I don't like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Like, I don't care. Yeah. I put enough practice. I know I'm going to get it anyways, but you get it so much quicker when it's like in focus. And so how much of that career and the time needed demanding from that career would you have been willing to focus in on at the time?
A lot. Had I gotten this job right out of university, like a lot. It would have definitely put like a marriage and family like kind of on the back burner, but not to the point where, like, it's not gonna happen, right?
But that's outside of university.
Yeah.
When you applied in February.
Yeah.
Your brain was not solely focused on that. Even when we first met, you went to do further studies, and your brain was not solely focused on doing those studies.
Oh, no, I've never wanted to. Once I graduated university, I was like, I am not going back to school.
Yeah.
So, I just can't pick a path because I feel like I'm doing nothing right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to do something.
Yeah.
But,
so,
like,
I would go along the lines of visualize a feeling rather than, because, I mean, even to me, I'm studying.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'm studying and I'm talking.
Yeah.
I have a potential job opportunity that I'm, like, excited about, but we haven't talked yet. We haven't had the interview yet. But it's, like, I have all this, like, anticipation that something is going to be starting, like, career-wise. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And so it's this, like, blind trust where I'm just driving down this foggy road. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, the's going to be a deer right there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to, like...
Oh, my goodness. What if we hit our deers at the same time?
I'd rather not hit a physical deer.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, a metaphorical deer.
But hypothetically, that could happen.
Yeah.
Because we are both working towards a career.
Yeah.
In our own...
Yeah.
Lanes.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. These podcasts just need to start making money, so I feel like I'm contributing to society a little bit.
No. That's that. So, yeah, when it comes to work, it's like... Yeah, if you're qualified and you just apply, you're likely going to get it.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, there's obviously something you need to fine-tune. There's something missing. Find that missing piece.
Yeah.
Ask your interviewer, what if I was to apply again in 3 months, what would you guys like to see for improvement?
Yeah.
Or why the person you hired over me? Mm-hmm. And, like, gain that feedback, seek that education, find that drive to really determine if you really want it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of rejection, it offers you the opportunity to reflect on if it's actually something you want or not, or if there is something greater that you're like, actually, you know what, no, this isn't what I want. I don't know, think about when you're dating someone for the first time and then everything is good and fine and dandy, and then they give you the ick once, and then you think of all the things that were red flags that you just kind of ignored because you had your rose-colored glasses on.
You're in the honeymoon phase. Yeah.
Same idea with work. Like, oh, this seems great, I love this,
but then once you're in it, you're like, oh, wow, this sucks.
Are you forcing it? Is it actually meant to be? So with every rejection, just take a time to reflect on, is that actually what I wanted, like, at my core? Does that align with how I want to feel, see, look, whatnot,
exist in the universe?
So
that was a 15-minute tangent on why Journey feels unnecessary. Unnecessary isn't the right word. I'm actually doing really good. Just sometimes I think these things. So some impacts of the law of attraction. So even though it kind of lacks scientific support, there are some changes that it can have in people's lives that are, like, very obvious. So the first is that it can have spiritual effects. And so by using this law, you kind of tap into your spirituality, which is in itself linked to reduce stress, better health, lower depression, overall better well-being. Like, it's why a lot of people seek out religion and to seek out their spirituality. It just makes them feel better.
Well, it gives you a purpose and something to work for, and that's next week's episode.
The last 3 episodes of June just kind of run together so good. It can also result in better well-being. So by focusing on attaining a new reality and by believing that it is possible, we tend to take more risks, notice more opportunities, and open yourself up to new possibilities.
Because it allows you a confidence that you might have not had before. And again, that's all with skill building, knowledge.
Exactly.
Physically doing something over and over again. Right? Like the first time wow. I'll say the first time you figure skate. Just like everyone jumps into figure skating.
So the first time I figure skated, I almost said figure scat. Like past tense.
I think it's scat like poop.
But it was like SKAT. I figure scat.
But it's like, okay, but learning to walk, or first time you skate, right? The first time I could skate since I could walk, because we just had these double blades that you strap onto the boots.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I was not grateful. Or grateful. Grateful.
I was not grateful when I scat.
Piss off, Mom and Dad. I did not want to do that. I was not, like, graceful about it, right? I was also probably 3 or 4. I think I learned to walk sooner than that, but I think I was about 3 or 4 when I was like actually on skates.
Yeah.
And you hold onto the chair and you're wobbly and it's like a deer finding its legs. And then fast forward, I want to say 3 or 4. Fast forward 12 years and I was competing.
Yeah.
Right? I was doing jumps and spins and all these things. And that just comes with practice and
exactly
just showing up and being consistent works towards the law of attraction.
Dude, consistency is key. It sounds stupid and corny and overused, but like, it doesn't take that long to see results when you're consistent.
No.
It's
just showing
crazy.
up.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And that's on going to the gym.
Well, that's a prime example of it too, right?
Yeah.
But even like, even say you block out your whole schooling experience. If you show up every day, you're still doing something towards finishing whatever your schooling experience is.
You're still putting in the effort to get that degree, which is so much work and effort. And everyone who graduates, even who doesn't graduate, but gets close and does some schooling, that's impressive. That's just hard work.
Like, you're still showing up and you still are moving towards something. If you change paths, like, you change paths, that's whatever.
Yeah.
But you've gone down, you've kept moving rather than staying stagnant and in thought paralysis and decision paralysis and all those
tune into
paralysis.
Tune into next week's episode.
Yeah.
Because it's a gooder.
For more on that.
And so when we believe we don't deserve good things, we behave in ways that sabotage our chance of happiness. So by changing our self-talk and feelings about life, we reverse the negative patterns in our lives and create a more positive, productive, and healthy life. So one good thing leads to another, and the direction of a life can shift from a downward spiral to an upward ascent immediately.
And as I've talked about before, my personal experience, my devalue of like self-worth then turned into me actually losing my health. And then me being like, no, actually.
Yeah, wait a second.
No, I don't want to live fast, die young. I kind of want to make it to 100.
I want to live slow, die. Slow?
Live slow?
Live slow, die old.
Yeah.
I guess is how that works. But yeah. So I guess the last little bit we have for this episode is just like, we've kind of covered is like, do we believe in the law of attraction? How does it affect us? Which, like,
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I've had.
I do. I feel like right now I'm holding it at his arm's length, just because. Feel like it. Yeah, that's who I am.
That's kind of what you do.
Yeah. I'm like, well, that sounds great. Cool. Keep it away from me. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
but do you think like releasing yourself to that would bring up more of these opportunities that you overthink on?
I don't know that I can fully trust that.
Okay.
Like, I don't fully, like, oh my goodness, the amount of things that like I've law of attracted. Insane. Oh my goodness, I know what I need to do. I need to make a bracelet. When I got into school, I made a SMU like friendship bracelet out of thread. SMU is the school I went to, St. Mary's University. It was out of their colors. I wore it from like the time I applied. It broke the week I got my acceptance letter. I was devastated that it broke, and like 3 or 4 days later I got my acceptance letter. So maybe I need to do that again, because every time I've done that, something's happened.
Well, because how much of that comes from like a visual reminder?
Exactly.
That you have issues with otherwise.
Yeah. So maybe I just need to do that.
Because again, at the time, jump back to that conversation a little bit. At the time you were applying, like, yeah, it's like what you wanted, but it wasn't preoccupying your full attention.
No, I was very much like an escape.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, if I get this, I can quit my job. And then I just had to quit my job anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'd say give it a go.
Yeah.
Like, have a physical representation, and that's where vision boards and stuff, like, that's what I find the most helpful. Or I have a journal. I'll just, like, write little random, I don't know, either tarot readings or positive affirmations, quotes that I liked. Like, I've just always done that since high school. It's a very artsy, I'll doodle, I'll do whatever I want. And that was, like, a brain dump of, like, what do I want? Yeah. And what do I want my life to look like? Yeah.
No, I think that'd be a good idea. Catch me next episode with bracelets up to my elbow. Yeah, that's a good idea. I have all my bracelet making stuff here. Oh, this is something new. I have a travel sweater. I know this is the end of the episode and not what you care about at all. And I was sewing on a patch and I kept breaking the needles. I haven't broken a single needle. I sewed on all the other patches except for this one. I broke 2. and they just snap in half.
Oh.
And I was like,
that's weird.
Awesome.
Maybe so patch is not meant to be.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? I'm pretty sure it's my Nova Scotia patch. That's so sad.
Maybe you should let it go.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the last thing that Jern had is you have a question.
I have a question.
As our segment,
I would like to ask you guys, and I want you guys to actually respond. I came out so passive aggressive, but I didn't mean it like that. I'm actually curious, so I'd like to know, where do you sit in your mind? Mm-hmm. Like, where do you feel that, like, your consciousness is? Like, mine is, like right behind my nose, kind of, like, just below my third eye, like, bridge of my nose. Mm-hmm. Like, but back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, if you could go through my temple and through the bridge of my nose, where they would intersect. Yeah. That's where I am.
And I had a hard time, like, Journey asked me that question. I have a hard time, because I can't really think of one sole place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't feel anything in my head.
So do you think you move around then?
Maybe.
Like, do you think you're, like, in your heart, and then, like, oh, when you're doing something that, like, creative, you're like, oh, now I'm in my hands? Ooh, that's weird to think about.
Yeah.
And then, like, when you're working out, you're like, oh, I'm in my legs, I'm in my feet. Like, obviously we're everywhere in our body, but, like, my main is, like...
I think, yeah, if anything, I could say I'm in, like, my heart. Mm-hmm. But that's just the only thing, because I'm just like, trying to reflect on whenever I'm, like, calm and still and just, like, existing. Yeah. I'm really good at shutting my brain off. Yes. So if anything, I would feel like I'm in my heart. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So, yeah. If anything. Otherwise, like, wherever my intuition is. Yeah. Like, that we say gut feeling, but I'm not always in my gut.
Yeah. And yeah, like, I mentioned it in the other episode where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like flat Stanley. Like, it's so weird that I'm like a whole human being right now. But like, yeah, and like, it's not to say that I don't like feel things other places. Yeah. But yeah.
It's interesting because you said like, you don't exist past your eyes. Mm-hmm. But is that's because
I'm like, I'm right here.
Perception of consciousness is.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and the back of my head is totally foreign to me, especially when we record.
See, no, I don't have that.
That's so
I
weird.
Can't relate to that. It's like my brain just feels like a waterfall of anything. Like, I'm very aware of the back of my head because my hair is always touching my back. I always have stimulation. I know that's a part of me.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I do too, but it's also like, it doesn't exist.
I've never had that experience.
Oh my goodness. Maybe I'm just dissociating. Am I mentally ill? Is that a symptom? It feels like I'm just saying, like, red flags that people should be, like, afraid for my safety.
No?
Okay.
I say hesitantly. Yeah, no, it's just no question mark. Like, no, it doesn't affect your day-to-day to a negative stance, so that's no.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, that's just where I am in my... Especially right now. And I don't know if that changes, like, with emotions you feel, because sometimes you feel different emotions in different parts of your body, so, like... Yeah. Is it, like, your consciousness is moving? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below.
Yeah. I think, the only answer I can really settle on right now is my heart. Yeah. Because when I think about every decision or whatever, it comes from, like, my chest. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. Was your chest chakra open?
Yeah, it was, like, belly up. Yeah. Was good.
Okay. Sick.
Belly down was not good.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah.
Well, and here's the other option though. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm above myself. Maybe maybe I live in my crown, and that's why I don't feel anything physically.
Maybe that's why your hair is so like important to you, is because you're like in your crown, in your hair, and like that's where you are. Yeah. And that's why when it's not doing what you want, you feel like not like yourself.
Yeah. Because I'm saying heart ? But like. Yeah. Because that's just where I feel the most emotion. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like a lot of emotion behind
you
my
live in
eyes.
You live in your third eye.
But it's where I am.
If you're talking chakras, you live in your third eye. Yeah. And I then live in my crown. Yeah. Interesting.
So, but yeah, I live in my sphenoid. So.
Where do you guys live?
Yeah. Put your address in the comments below.
We'll send you some cookies.
Yeah. Or ciabatta bread.
Or yeah, some ciabatta. All right, well, that's today's episode.
That was Law of Attractions.
Yeah. If you like what we're doing, or if you just like us, give us a like. Mm-hmm. Rating, reviews, comments, all of that. helps boost us up for other people to find us.
Yeah, keeps us relevant.
Yeah. On socials, I'm Mak Joy.
I'm Mak Jubes.
We are Sometimes Ciabatta Slaps on all social media platforms, YouTube, our website, sometimesciabattaslaps.com, where you can find all of our episode links, plus our book club reviews and affiliate links.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah. Hope you guys have a great day.
Thanks for watching.
And ta-ta for now.
Bye.
Bye.